Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I'm joined by Crister,
Hello.
Cinders,
Hello.
and Sanswinda.
Hello, everybody.
Hello there. Are you all ready for the last show before Christmas?
Yes.
Then let us get started. And guess what? We're going to start a special present for everyone. Release notes.
Yay!
Yay!
Bah humbug.
Okay. Anyway, this is a Bulwer release notes for update 46.1, beta number 1. This is the first Bulwer build in preparation for the next update, which is going to be coming up in January. And welcome to update 46.1, Kingdoms of Harad. The Kingdoms of Harad stands at a crossroads, the rivalry sharpening as a greater threat gathers strength. Gandalf has come with a warning of a darkness rising in the south. The Tharduth, ancient servants of Morgoth, rise once more, harnessing powers that could unmake the balance of Middle-earth. So there are going to be 3 instances. The first of them is Ekalnebi, the Fallen Palace, which is a 6-player instance that is in testing. The Palace of Ekalnebi is the crown jewel of Emaxdul, an opulent home to rulers from the kingdom of Neshak. Nikasi, and now from Ordak, hidden in the backgrounds of palace life, Thothril, the Entangler, Sarduth of Dormdor, quietly began to working her enchantments upon the minds of its inhabitants. Now, with soldiers of Azadi's alliance at the palace doorstep, she asserts final control over the palace. Okay. Okay, Nisaka, oh boy, that is really getting that name there. There's that. No, it's Nisaka who is preparing the control from the Ordaka. She is trying to control Misadi's people. I guess that's what you're going to be doing. Fight for control over in that. Koth Rao, the Wailing Hold, the palace of Ekal Nabi, is the crown jewel of. It has the exact same intro as so I guess they are related instances then, or that's an error in there. I guess we'll find out when the actual things come out. And finally, the treasure caves of Hurum Kana, a 3-player instance. In the forgotten caves of Hurum Kana, a scoundrel makes his home. The self-styled brigand king Barlat the Bold strikes at caravans and travelers on the nearby Great Road. The Dwarwards of Zajana have tasked you with bringing Barlat to justice. But what secrets could the caves and Barlat be hiding deep in Huram Kana? So the 3-player instance is not yet in testing. They say coming soon is all they say there. So I presume that maybe in January we'll finally have an opportunity to test this one. Also, UI scaling. New UI scaling options have been added, including a global UI scale. Many of the full screen UI elements have been updated to support widescreen displays without stretching. The login screen, the character creation and selection, loading screens, and the map windows. So many little tweaks to the UI. But there is a known issue so far. Apparently, the new art is still a work in progress. So they're still making some tweaks on it and thing in there. But it looks like we're going to have some significant UI updates, which I think is going to make the people with 4K displays very happy. I'm assuming it's to help things work better on those, because right now people with 4K displays need a magnifying glass in order to see the icons. Now for release notes for U46.1 beta number 1 for classes and skills, the Lore Master fixed a bug where Storm and Staff visual effects was showing out of combat while using a movement style. And also another bug with the visual effects for Storm and Staff that was still showing when players had disabled avatar attack effects. For combat and monsters, ground target areas of effect skills will prioritize the player's current target when possible, and a handful of player effects which deal bonus damage according to your player level now correctly deal greater damage for players from levels 151 to 160. For crafting and hobbies, fixed an issue where some Sulmadash Taylor recipes were incorrectly set to be single use. Our Sulmadash jewelry equipment recipes now correctly require polished garnets. Scholar recorded lore of Murkala processing now correctly outputs only one item from non-criticals. The woodcutter recipe for craft Kentai harvesting tools now requires fewer ingredients and outputs more tools. Okay, that'll be good. And supplier NPCs, including those placed in player housing, once again sell tier 15 Shigani seeds as expected. For quests, deeds, and adventure areas, the named ends in the Mordor Allegiance quest, Chapter 3 High and Low, now properly all have distinct appearances. Resource node placement issues in Adagim have been fixed. Jarush now only has one map node. Miscellaneous terrain texture issues in Swanfleet have been fixed. Something stirs in the Moulderwood. Monsters have been spotted with greater corruption from the Pale Blight, especially near Folly of Nachedi. Beware any enemies with troubling afflictions and dangerous blight growth while traveling in Adagim. As if the roving monsters in there weren't bad enough, there are going to be even worse ones. Text corrections have been made to an objective in the Anshru quest mounting a rescue. Lowered a floating NPC to the ground in Khagangur. A text change has been made to Rodrog's dialogue in Anshru's quest Taking a Rest. Players who had this quest now progress will need to pick the quest up again from Kagami at the crosswords of Ansharu due to versioning. Addressed miscellaneous floating items and NPCs in the exterior area of Kolthrau in Ansharu. Kagami's position in Gadim Un has been shifted slightly so that she appears to be floating less. The Moonbach Trainer's Horn uses in the Ansharu's quest befriending a behemoth can now be used in combat to better facilitate quest completion in a fellowship. The Ansharu quest instance into the Quelling House can now be run in a fellowship. A typo has been corrected in the Ansharu quest, a letter to Meshaget. Typos have been corrected in the Ansharu quest instance, a gift for the future. During the quest, scholarly pursuits, the NPC Kaibar and the collectible berry bushes should now be properly selectable via the player mouse. Minor rock issues in Ansharu and Itagal have been resolved. Temenir Commoner and Guard NPCs are now actually dwarves. Well, that's good to know. Floating milestones outside of Mickle-Delving homesteads has been grounded. The Hamati Forward camp in Itagal no longer has a giant skull just chilling out in it. Made an adjustment to prevent creepy whispers from getting stuck on characters that progress the songs of waves and wind. The Ansharu quest instances taking a rest and a personal matter will now always take place at night. Miscellaneous minor landscape issues in out-of-game have been resolved. Removed an icon suggesting that a daily quest was available in the fields of Sarjazi. All daily and weekly quests that are part of Murkala in game are now appropriately displayed their minimum level of 160. We have added 4 new deeds to track the completion of the endgame daily and weekly quests available in the 4 regions of Murkala. We have increased the achievable reputation to Sajani to Kindred, fixed and the interactions in the quest daily crystals to send below to allow for quest completion, and the D Treasure Seeker of Murkala now correctly is listed under Murkala. This deed will be versioned upon releases. For instances and skirmishes, the Acid Wing of the Tower of Orthanc raid is once again accessible to players as intended. I guess that's the thing that caused them to close the raid. Missions and Delvings. Missions that support delvings now show a delving icon with a tooltip that reads, "This mission supports delvings" in the Mission Giver's quest panel. All right. Housing and decorations. Typo in description of the floor lanterns of Zojana bundle description has been fixed. Premium homes will once again return 90% of the homesteading coin cost when sold. Note that premium houses that are released automatically as part of the transfer process will continue to return 100% of their homesteading coin cost via the in-game mail on the destination world. Foreclosed premium houses will continue to refund 80% of the homesteading coin cost. Gold-capped Zajani Tower, Marble Zajani Tower, Zajani Scholars Tower, and Zajani Watchtower are each now visible at much greater distances when placed on yard hooks. The Zajani candle stand can now be toggled on and off when placed on a housing hook. Various torch, scone, brazier housing decorations introduced in Update 46 now have their flames on by default. Kachnir in the Last Lonely House now sells several new housing items. Lamp on the Northern Herald Wheel now properly glows. Cozy roasting fire pit will now have you sit in on a stool as intended. As for items and rewards, the Rakish Charmer shoulder guards for race and man females should now sit more proportionally on their bodies. Fixed an examination bug that prevented the max contents leveled of package items from being shown when they were stored in the player's vault. Thrang's sword should now properly display cosmetic weapons aura. Steed of the White City War Steed comparison appearances should now properly accept die. Isengard Ring of Fire item usage emote now correctly plays animations for Race of Man, Bjornings, and River Hobbits. And the chestplate of the Dead City neck region has been slightly worked and should now correctly display the chainmail neck piece of Race of Man, River Hobbits, Elves, and High Elves. Potions. Okay. For PMP and Moors, we fixed an issue where players were seeing the title deeds for Monsters players for War Track seasons. Reinforcing the gates of Tirithral and Lugazag will now persist to ensure that the materials and efforts put into the reinforcing the doors are maintained. Potions acquired for Marta at Outposts now have a 90-minute duration. Morale and power potions acquired for Marta at Outposts is now increased both by 30%. Player mitigation potions acquired for Marta at Outposts now match the mitigation bonuses for monster players, and Etmore's trace-free chests now contain a trace-free fitting for your class that scales to correct level band. For localization, corrected truncated page titles inside of the filter menu. For art and avatars, head option 26 for female race of man avatars no longer distorts when eye option sliders are changed. River Hobbit male /trumpet emote now animates correctly. and birding animations have been updated to work correctly with all avatar types. If they're miscellaneous, fix the bug that would cause the Instance Finder class menu to only show a subset of the classes of the game. Fix a bug that will cause the social class menu item to only show a subset of the classes in the game. Fix an examination bug that would result in Mariner being called Corsair. What? And custom
It's
character.
appropriate.
Okay. And custom character portraits list is now constrained to the screen size and has a scroll bar when necessary. And that is it for the first round of updates that we have here. And I presume there will be a few more tweaks in the next couple of rounds before they actually release it. Any questions on any of these?
I am hoping by fixing whatever they fixed with the trumpets with River Hobbits was that they disabled the trumpet so it could never be used upon a captain again.
I'm sure they did not.
I believe that they should address this desperate situation.
That still wouldn't fix the one trumpeter who goes after Crister every time he's on.
All trumpets should be disabled.
So, because he's not a river hobbit.
I must find a way.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of scared, but those weren't too bad.
Okay. Then, anyway, that's it for that round of more release notes. So, next thing we have is that coming January 7, 2026, we have The Rivers of Middle-earth, which is the start of a new series, part 1 on there, because they went down through the roads of Middle-earth. They had the one where they went through each of the regions. So now we're going to go through each of the rivers of Middle-earth, and scenario is going to start with the Brandywine, since that's the one that goes by the Shire all the way. So I guess you're going along the Brandywine all the way from... Let's see, I guess you get... How far can you get down on that?
I don't know, but I'm snickering at comment number 3 that says, sorry, but I'm confused. Is this a stream or a river? Get it? Get it?
Uh-huh.
He's streaming about a river? Yeah?
Oh.
Yeah, they said...
Does this mean I'm old?
Sorry, but I'm confused. Is this a stream or a river? Ducks for cover. The next person. Lol, I laughed more than I probably should have.
Stream or a river. Okie dokie. That means it's time for us to go into our store sales. And since Window, what's on sale this week?
Well, this week you can note that the 2025 Patrons coffers have reappeared. You can pick from the coffers of the Sands, the Loyal Knight, the Jaunty, or the Gilded Caravan through January 1st, 2026. You can read more about those coffers on LOTRO.com. We also have 4 weeks of Yuletide savings. In week number 3, we get 75% off select pets and kites, 50% off Crafting Guild access, 20% off the Mirkwood Patrons coffer, and that will last through December 25th, so you can get that for Christmas. And we have double bonus points through January 1st in the store. And available for a limited time, you can get the Deep Places Memoir Pack. Memoir of Moria and Isengard cosmetics, including all 8 Moria cosmetic cloaks for all your characters through January 1st. And you can get up to 85% off select expansions in the LOTRO market. 85% off Mordor, 70% off the War of the Three Peaks, 70% off Before the Shadow. Important, Before the Shadow's content is now free to all users. This purchase will provide all the other listed items, not the content. Because you already have that. 40% off Corsairs of Umbar, 25% off Legacy of Morgoth, and that also lasts through January 1st. And you can go there and back again. Get 30% off. Milestone skills, Hurried Traveler and Returning Traveler, Advanced Riding Traits, Rally Horns, and that is through December 25th. And for your weekly coupon, you can have 5 free black steel keys with the coupon code Winter Surprise, also through December 25th. All one word.
All right. So we're getting 5 black steel
Wow.
keys.
Or travel skills.
9 goes a nazzing.
3 riding traits. 2
One
horns.
evil ring.
Okay. And a gold ring in a volcano.
Sounds accurate.
That sounds, very lovely. We should make a new song.
All right. We'll see how many of them actually scan anywhere near correct. Okay. Let's now head into our. Oh, hold on. That looks.
That's a new one.
Yes, a new. Yes, so we have the reminiscing about. Okay.
You thought you'd want to escape.
Yes. Okay. What is this all about?
What is the most favorite thing you've ever trampled? I'll go first.
I wonder why.
What is your favorite thing that you ever trampled, Crister?
You should probably
Well-
specify in LOTRO or in ESO.
Why?
Because you get two very
Driving
different results.
on with it in my car one day. No. My favorite thing I've ever trampled. Now, of course, I'm horrible with the names, and I've completely forgotten it. But it was in Mordor. There was a place that we would go to. It was one of the kind of travel points you'd use to go to other places. There was a camp with a bunch of reputation gear that you could buy, and you could hunt like the drakes and stuff outside. So we were roaming around one day with our war steeds outside that place, and there was a hunter. And I was out trampling, and I hit this creature and launch it into the air. And right when it's passing right over the head of the hunter fires. He looks straight up and fires the arrow straight up at it as it's passing over. And we both were sent each other tells because it was just like, okay, that's one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen in this game. But that was my favorite tramp. Cinders, how about you? I know you said you talk about Shire Plum Dye all the time, so you know that's somebody who's got incredible rage in them and needs to express it by trampling.
So my problem with trampling, though, is that I have a tendency to miss. So I would have to say it's probably the air, because every time I hit my trample skill, I usually go right past the mob. Because me on a war steed is just not fantastic for aiming at anything. So I have occasionally connected with stuff, and it is pretty funny to watch orcs go flying. But more often than not, I just miss completely. Which is very sad.
All
'cause
right.
It has cooldown.
Sans, what about you?
So, I don't know that I've actually trampled something myself, but my favorite trampling memory is we're in Mordor, and we were doing something kind of serious, but not super serious. We had a group of play people together, and all of a sudden, I see this mob fly through the air and get set on fire, and then it happens again, and again. And Crister was trampling things, and Finneor was setting them on fire, and they were dying midair. It was glorious.
Yeah, it's kind of like a turf and surf, a trample and drive.
Like, things I never thought that I would be seeing, and it's amazing. I've seen you guys do it a few other places too, and it's fun.
And of course, Pine Leaf. I know deep in your heart that you have the heart of a trampler. You're also part of a mariner for some reason.
I don't know that Pineleaf has ever ridden a heavy war steed
Oh wow!
to be able
I
to
thought that was
trample.
all he rode.
I couldn't even have conceived that would have happened.
I thought he
But,
always
yeah,
rode a light steed. Pineleaf, do you ride a heavy steed?
I don't think he rides a light steed unless he has
I
to.
tend to do a medium.
Okay.
I might do a light if I really, but usually when I ride a war steed, it's a medium steed.
Oh, that's too bad, Pine Leaf, because when you get the heavy war steed, when you get on top of that thing, everybody else looks like ants. They'll look like ants from up here.
No, I'm playing a hobbit. I won't be high enough up to make everyone look like.
Well, then you'd look like an ant from up there. That's what we would say. We'd look up at you and say, "Is that an ant in the saddle?"
Although the homestead steed, even on a hobbit, puts you up really high, and I've gotten some very curious questions about how my hobbit can be on a horse that's as big as a race of mans.
See, that's why I want to see like a group of hobbits on a heavy war steed, because it'd be like a bunch of humans riding a Moomac. You could have a little tower up there. You could have a little like an RV, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could have a couple hobbits mounted on the front, a couple on the back. One could be on the bottom, like a one of those bomber turrets, those ball turrets.
Back to the question at hand, though. Pineleaf, have you ever trampled anything or seen stuff trampled and have a favorite memory?
Well, definitely not in LOTRO.
Have you?
But there could be other trampling experiences. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was the closest.
Go ahead, Pineleaf, and then I'll tell my story about
the closest
trampling.
thing I could think of to a trample that I've done was actually in Spirit Island. And I was playing the Ember-Eyed Behemoth, which is spirit I was playing, and the Ember-Eyed has an Incarna that moves around, and that whenever it does its destroy ability, it jumps on top of them and stomps them into the dust. And by the time the scenario was over, I was calling the thing the Ember Eye City Stomper, because I was just kept on crushing the cities of the invaders into the ground in there. So I did get some joy of trampling the invaders on that particular run.
It feels like it's in the same kind of trample family.
For sure.
So what's your story, Cinders?
My recent memory of starting up ESO again and trying it out and playing. Apparently, you can send your critters to run over the top of other things and trample them. How do I know this? Because just about every time I turned around, there were mammoths charging me. And
That's right.
Cinders got run over by a few mammoths that evening.
Hey, do they have mammoth mounts yet in ESO?
I don't know if they're mounts.
They have a wonderful, wonderful mammoth mount in ESO. It would be a beautiful Moomac mount in LOTRO. It would. It's awesome. It's a really cool. It's very, very big.
I would presume that Sans has it already.
Yes, I do.
Hey.
And yes, it is glorious, but also a little bit hard to see smaller things on the ground. So
They look like ants.
Okay.
that is pretty accurate. Yes.
Anyway, anyone else have any trampling stories they wish to add?
No.
Nope. I'm glad I could mix it up on the trampling a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. Then let's get into our week in gaming. Crister, what have you been up to when you weren't trampling things into the dirt?
I was working, so everybody's cramming. I believe it was everybody was getting ready to go on vacation this week. So this last week was incredible, unmitigated insanity, and So I think it's over, but I'm suspicious. So it was just a lot of working, but I did get a little bit of Helldivers, a little bit of ESO, and a little bit of Shrouded In. Cinders, what did you get up to?
Well, for starters, Pineleaf and I did something we didn't even know we could do. So the new area has these roving threats that are 160. And we killed one. We were like, I was 152, he is 153. But we did it all by ourselves because I was too tenderhearted to leave a poor hunter to die. And then as soon as I had the aggro, the hunter ran away. And I had
maybe the hunter thought that you guys needed it for a quest or something.
Well,
no.
The hunter was level 151. Probably couldn't scratch the thing.
Anyhow, so what had happened is I saw this hunter running around and they'd been killing things. And so I'd been kind of following it to try and get tags on it because we needed the same things that the hunter was after. And then the hunter tagged the roving threat crocodile. And I was like, oh no, it's going to kill that poor hunter. So I'm running after it on my little hobbit, screaming at the crocodile. Finally get the crocodile to run. I'm telling Pineleaf this whole time, Pineleaf, come on. You need to come help me. We're going to save this hunter. Right? And I'm like, if the hunter turns around and actually starts shooting at this thing, it's going to go down pretty fast. Between us, if Pineleaf can keep me alive. It took us 15 minutes, and we killed a tree and another, was it a spider that came up while we were trying to kill this thing? Yeah. And Pineleaf spent the time healing me, and I was just, whacking at the thing. And had it turned around and aimed at Pineleaf, we'd have been done. But it didn't, and it took us 15 minutes, but we killed the thing all by ourselves, and we were very proud of ourselves for doing that. And then I was like, surely that hunter, after he ran away, ran somewhere safe, and wasn't just staying in the air. No, as soon as we turned around to go back to what we'd been doing before, that hunter was still running around right in that area, shooting at everything. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Now that I have my protectors.
Right? Anyhow, I was like, stupid hunters. But I happen to love a hunter very much, so I wasn't just going to let a poor hunter die. So I would come save your hunter too, Sans.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. But at least I know your hunter would stick around and try to help put it down. So that would be helpful.
I would do my best to do so. Yes.
And then we played some Stardew Valley. Pineleaf and I played some Stardew Valley today. Because the servers were super laggy. And then we went back to playing some more LOTRO once the server lag had subsided. And I also got to play some ESO with Sans yesterday, and I have a snow globe house now, so I can start decorating it and making it wonderful. I'm very excited about it. Sans, what did you get up to this week?
Well, this week I did a little bit more Umber cooking. And I unlocked another companion on my Dragon Knight in ESO with Grundis' help. We got Sharp unlocked. And then I did some New Life Festivaling in ESO, some on my own and some with Cinders, and it was pretty fun. How was your week, Pineleaf?
All right. My lore master reached level 160, so probably would have had an easier time against a certain crocodile than my runekeeper had. Then my warden joined Friday Night Fights, where currently I'm at level 164. So moving up there slowly on the levels on that character.
Is it supposed to be 154 by chance?
Yes, you are correct. It is 154.
I was thoroughly impressed.
I was like, wait a second.
Wait a sec. Is this some special Pineleaf exclusive thing with LOTRO here?
Okay, 154. Oh, those numbers. Okay, yes. And I also, on board gaming, I played several scenarios of Memoir 44. And that's it for my week in gaming. If you would like to send us any feedback, you could either respond to our You can respond to the episode, or you could send us an email to podcast@lotraplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we record LOTRO Players News, and we record DDO Players News when DRAC is available. You guys join our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight, then. This is Pilot Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.